The movie begins with Ashley driving through the winding roads near the dense Pacific Northwest forest, her face tight with anger instead of joy. She was heading to pick up her husband Max after he had served a full year in prison for a violent crime committed in a drunken rage. The reunion felt heavy with unresolved tension as Max climbed into the car, both of them sitting in uncomfortable silence. While stopping at a gas station, Max overheard locals and a police officer discussing mysterious disappearances linked to strange, mythical creatures said to roam the ancient woods, beings that had supposedly been buried for generations and were now rising again to hunt humans. The warnings felt like mere superstition at the time, but the wall covered in dozens of missing person posters told a darker story. As they drove onward, Max cracked open beers and started drinking heavily, reigniting old arguments with Ashley about his destructive habits that had already cost them so much. In the heat of their fight, they failed to see a man suddenly appear on the road, and their car slammed into him with brutal force. Panic exploded as they rushed to the injured stranger, his body broken and bleeding. Max, fresh out of prison and already intoxicated, desperately tried to stop Ashley from calling the police, fearing it would send him back behind bars. While they argued, something massive stirred in the nearby bushes, and without warning, powerful rocks began hurtling toward them like deadly projectiles. Max took a devastating blow to the head and tumbled down a steep slope into the icy river below, his body plunging unconscious into the freezing current. Ashley, despite not knowing how to swim, leaped in without hesitation to save him, fighting the strong pull of the water as hypothermia threatened to claim them both. With sheer determination, she dragged him to shore and performed CPR until he gasped back to life, their soaked clothes clinging to trembling bodies. Back at the crash site, an enormous, non-human foot stepped into view, revealing a colossal creature far beyond anything imaginable. This monstrous being approached their abandoned car, violently shoved it into the river to destroy all evidence, and then dragged the now-dead stranger's body deep into the forest, its intentions terrifyingly clear. Shivering and desperate for warmth, Ashley and Max built a small fire using Max's lighter, stripping off their wet clothes and huddling together in vulnerable silence for the first time in years. They promised to stay together no matter what and to leave old habits behind. Meanwhile, police investigated the submerged car and discovered photos of the couple, launching a search while locals whispered about the ancient Oh-Mah legend. As night fell, the couple pressed deeper into the woods the next morning, unaware they were being stalked by a massive, humanoid creature that could perfectly camouflage itself among the trees like a living shadow, watching their every move with primal intelligence. Don't forget to subscribe right now if you're enjoying this intense ride. It helps us grow together and bring even more epic fantasy and horror movie recaps like this one straight to you. Now back to the story. A sudden gunshot led them to the same group of crude hunters they had encountered earlier at the gas station, the men who had leered at Ashley with predatory eyes. Max approached them alone for help, enduring their mocking laughter and refusal to assist beyond offering spare clothes. While hidden, Ashley felt the chilling presence of the camouflage creature behind her. It plucked a strand of her hair almost possessively before vanishing. The hunter's leader suddenly changed his tone and offered to guide them out of the forest, but the tension remained thick as they moved together through the dense trees. Police forensics later revealed the car had been forcefully pushed into the river by something with inhuman strength and non-human fingerprints, deepening the mystery and forcing even skeptics to question the local legends of the Oh-Mah. In the forest, two hunters wandered off and were swiftly eliminated by the creature with terrifying precision. One pierced through the neck by a perfectly aimed arrow, and the other brutally dispatched in the shadows. A third hunter met a gruesome end with an axe-like weapon, his screams echoing unanswered as the beast dragged the bodies away, leaving the remaining group in growing peril. Strange noises filled the air as the hunters continued harassing the couple, pushing Max to his breaking point. Suddenly, another arrow struck one of the men dead, sparking total chaos. The creature revealed itself in flashes, masterfully blending into the darkness, while the panicked hunters fired wildly, accidentally shooting one of their own. Max was hit and collapsed unconscious amid the gunfire and screams. Ashley rushed to his side as the beast emerged fully, its nightmarish form sending terror through everyone who caught sight of it. The creature slaughtered the remaining hunters one by one with savage efficiency, arrows flying and powerful strikes crushing resistance. It turned its attention toward Ashley, launching an arrow that pierced her leg and brought her crashing down in agony. Yet instead of finishing her, the beast spared her life for reasons unknown. instead grabbing the unconscious Max and dragging him away into the depths of the forest. The leader managed one desperate shot that wounded the creature's shoulder before being overpowered and taken along with the others. The once noisy group had been reduced to silence, the ancient woods now a graveyard littered with the evidence of primal fury. Elsewhere, a police officer investigating reports stumbled upon a bizarre ritual involving a terminally ill woman with cancer. Participants in eerie costumes performed strange chants and handed out mysterious liquids, leading to hallucinations where the officer glimpsed visions connected to the creature. In a shocking moment that defied reality, one ritualist appeared to pull the cancer directly from the woman's body with bare hands, leaving her miraculously unaffected by pain. Max later regained consciousness in the hut of a deformed, witch-like woman with long, sharp nails who mysteriously healed his bullet wounds using ancient herbs and rituals. She seemed linked to the creature in ways that hinted at deeper secrets. Ashley, meanwhile, awoke trapped in the beast's hidden lair, surrounded by piles of human skeletons and the corpses of the slain hunters, a horrifying testament to years of unchecked killings. The creature approached with sharp tools, assaulting her while she screamed in helpless terror, its intentions brutally clear in the dim confines of the cave. The healed Max encountered the police officer, who now fully believed in the Oh-Mah after the ritual revelations. The officer explained that the creature was no supernatural demon, but a mutated descendant of an ancient human tribe whose evolution had stalled midway, trapping them in a savage state between man and beast. These beings had lived in isolation for thousands of years, developing monstrous forms and an extraordinary sense of smell to track prey. With the creature weakened by its shoulder wound, they armed themselves with sharp weapons and set out to rescue Ashley before more of the ancient tribe could emerge. The old witch chanted eerie warnings or signals as Max and the officer ventured deeper into the forest. Inside the cave, Ashley fought back fiercely against the creature, attacking it repeatedly despite its thick, tough skin, rendering her efforts almost useless. The beast suddenly paused, alerted by the distant signal, and stormed out armed for battle, giving Ashley the chance to free herself, grab a discarded gun, and follow in determined pursuit. The officer and Max decided to split up to cover more ground in their hunt. The creature, drawn by their scent and movements, began circling the officer with predatory stealth. Gunfire erupted as the officer landed multiple hits, wounding the beast badly. But in a ferocious counterattack, the enraged Oh-Mah brutally killed him. Hearing the shots, Max raced to the scene and found his ally lifeless, fueling his rage as he tracked the blood trail and opened fire on the monster. Ashley emerged from the trees with her own weapon, and together the couple unleashed a relentless storm of bullets into the creature, its monstrous roars shaking the forest as wounds accumulated. Realizing the beast was growing even more dangerous in its fury, they chose to run. Max urged Ashley to escape toward a nearby road for help, while he stayed behind to finish the fight alone, promising to end the nightmare. Ashley reluctantly fled as the creature faced Max in a savage, hand-to-hand confrontation on the muddy ground. He fired his remaining bullets and then stabbed repeatedly with sharp wooden stakes, the battle a brutal exchange of raw power and desperate survival. The creature overpowered him at times, but Max fought back with every ounce of strength, finally wounding it severely enough to knock it down. Even as it lost consciousness, he continued striking its head relentlessly to ensure it could never rise again. Exhausted and breathing heavily in momentary relief, Max sat down, believing the terror was over. But suddenly an arrow pierced through his body from behind. He looked up in shock to see not one, but several other identical mythical creatures emerging silently from the darkness, their numbers far greater than imagined. It became horrifyingly clear that this was no lone monster, but part of a larger tribe preparing to wipe out humanity itself. Hey everyone, if you love this epic recap of Primal Rage, smash that like button, subscribe to Great Animation Recaps, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next thrilling horror breakdown. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What shocked you the most about the ending? Share this with your friends who love monster movies, and stay tuned for more intense recaps coming soon.